And you know me, bro, I never back the early kickoff. And you know me, bro, I never back the early kickoff. Back the early kickoff. And you know me, bro, I never back the early kickoff. Finesse like.
What's going on, people? Welcome to episode 1 of Never Back the Early Kickoff, the podcast that keeps you one step ahead of the bookies while having a proper laugh doing it. No filters, no nonsense, just solid picks, proper chat, and a weekly reminder that backing the early kickoff does ruin lives. My name is Leon, and I have an unhealthy obsession with picking in-play bookings.
And I'm Josh, and I'm the Acca King. I love an Acca more than life itself. So how's your week been? Did you enjoy the weekend?
Yeah, mate, it's not too bad. I'm just glad the international break was done and dusted because the international break, it just stinks. Hate that it comes so early into the Prem season. You just get 3 games in the Prem. You just want to, your team to get a bit of momentum, and then bang, you get hit with an international break. So glad that was over, and I haven't got to watch England play a bunch of part-timers like Andorra for a while. But now the Prem's back. Newcastle got a win, so that was our first win of the season. So that was glad. I was really glad that that's our first win. New striking, Walter Mada got a goal in his debut, which is good. Obviously, he's no Isaac, but it's always good for a front man to get an early goal just to settle him down, unlike some strikers like Sesko, not naming names. So, man, no, decent. Glad the Prem's back. Happy days. How about you?
Yeah, same thing really. Obviously, the Prem being back is always a good weekend for it. A lot of teams home for teams won, which we'll get onto in a minute. But they are actually changing international break. Next year, they're doing a 3-week gap instead of a 2-week and doing all 4 games. So there's only be 1 gap next year.
When's that coming in the season? Is that going to come right at the start again, or are they just going to?
Yeah, so instead of the 2 breaks between now and the October one, they're just going to merge them both together and do 3 weeks of 4 games.
That might be better actually, because it's just annoying. It's just annoying that they just have so many breaks early in the season. If they just have one to knock in a few games, and that might just work a bit better than having to keep breaking it up, because teams can't get any momentum going, and then sometimes like with us, we've got loads of players, South Americans, come back injured or jet lagged or tired. So now I'm all for that. So that sounds good. We happy with Villa's result of the weekend?
Second point on the board. What can you moan about? Still 0 goals. Lackluster to say the least, but can't do enough about it. Got to keep it moving. In Emery, we trust.
Yeah, man, it's not ideal. Is it 4 games, 0 goals, relegation zone?
Oh. Could be worse. Could be Wolverhampton.
Yeah, man, they were stinky against us there. It's not looking like they're going to make it through to another Premier League season after this one, mate. I think they're going to be in the dustbin. But anyway, mate. But that's good to have the Prem back. So how's your week been then with the old betting, Josh? Any luck, or you had a rotten week? What's been going on?
Oh well, it started off on Friday night with an absolute stinker.
Why? What happened?
Had a little threefold on. Benfica, Santa Clara, 1-0 up. Santa Clara down to 10 men, cruising. 92nd minute, Otamendi. Oh, it was an absolute joke. So then Santa Clara scored literally 92nd minute to draw the game. But apart from that, that was a bit annoying. But I had a good couple of days on the old Betty front.
Let me stop you there. You're not just going to brush over that. What did Otamendi do? You just said Otamendi. What did he do?
Oh, he just started, the ball's come over the top. He's running back and tried to do a diving header and missed the ball completely.
What, head it back to his keeper? Oh my
yeah,
God.
literally, tried the diving header and literally just completely missed the ball when their shot was through 1-on-1.
How is he still playing? I remember watching him at City years ago thinking he's crapping.
Surely he's about 30. Surely he's nearly 38. He's got to be the close to that age.
Man, that sounds like an absolute mare.
But apart from that, it was a really good weekend. Really happy with the returns. So, I had a couple of Accas. So on Saturday afternoon, I had Madrid to beat Sociedad, Monaco to beat Auxerre, Feyenoord, Porto and Galatasaray. So I had a little 5-fold on that. 40 quid returned 230. So,
mate, you got lucky there, because didn't I swear didn't Madrid go down to 10 men?
But they went 2-0 up, so I got the early payout, so I don't really care.
Did they go 2-0 up? Did they go 2-0 up before the man got sent off?
Yeah, they went 2-0 up, then the man got sent off, but Monaco, Auxerre got a man sent off, and then Monaco were ahead, and then they went 1-1 on like the 84th minute, and then they scored late on to win the game 2-1. But apart from that, everyone else cruised in. And then yesterday, oh my God, Sunday, I got so lucky. So I had Liverpool, Celtic, both teams had last-minute penalties to win the game.
That's me. That's the thing with Accas is, like, I always say, like, you never have an Acca win where it's just every team's comfortable. You know, what Acca you win, there's always a life and death moment. It sounds like you had two of them.
Oh yeah, literally both games were last-minute penalties. So yeah, cannot moan at that.
You need to send Hannibal a thank you message, because he literally came on and just give away a penalty for no reason. So
yeah,
I think Hannibal must have had Liverpool on his Acca as well, because there was no reason for him to give away a penalty like that. But
yeah, then I had Chelsea women to beat Villa women, carrying on the trend of betting against Villa at the moment. Barcelona, Valencia, that was just an absolute travesty. 6-0. Oh, it was just, I just felt bad for Valencia. Barcelona just played them off the park. And then I had AZ as well. So I had, because I had my little win on Saturday, I just put a lot of my winnings, 80 quid of my winnings on that from the 230. So banked 150, put 80 quid back on. And
you with the ballsy stakes.
I know, mate, it's got to be done, but the golden one, I had a right little golden one. It was a 428, the Manchester Derby, clicked onto Paddy Power, then I seen a special boost. A goalkeeper to make a save in both goalkeepers to make a save in each half, and both teams have offside in each half. 25-1.
That's ridiculous. And everyone that's listening to this, do you know why that really pisses me off more than anything? Because I have a group chat with Josh and some others around betting, and he has seen them odds, and he's kept them to himself. He's going to tell you now.
428.
He's going to tell you now that he saw it just before kickoff.
Dude, I think it at 428.
He's seen that. He's placed his bet, and then he's put it in the group after he's placed it after kickoff started.
Yeah, what we're going to
I'm just going to leave that one there.
But why would I place it? Why would I place it before I put it on myself? I need to get it on first. That's the priority.
Why post it in the group after it's on?
To show you.
What good is that for me to view? I'd rather you had just not posted it and just posted the fucking winning in, because then I could be like, oh, fair play, like that's I didn't see that. But to literally post it in the chat after kickoff was just like, oh.
Yeah, I've done the same thing with the Barcelona game, and that was 14-1, and it was Valencia didn't have a shot. I don't think he even got in Barcelona's half in the first half, but the Barcelona keeper didn't make a save, so that one could let me down on that one. But 14-1, so I'm definitely going to be having a look at that on the weekend.
Yeah, and this time when it pops up on your betting chat on Paddy Power or wherever it is, make sure you give me a little nudge, because I want to get on that, because that's really, really good odds. That, to be fair. Apart from your Benfica and Mendy just costing you on Friday, did you have any other sort of losses over the weekend, or was it just back-to-back wins after that?
I had a couple of a couple of first half foul ones and a couple of other smaller Accas, but I like to put a 20-fold Acca on over the weekend. Just one day I believe it's going to come in and I'm going to win a large amount, but that went down like a sack of spud. So I had a couple of on the football. I had Matty Cash in the first half to do a foul. Obviously, I'm sure you'll talk about that a bit more.
We'll be talking about Matty Cash and him just absolutely paying for my rent for the month. Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. How about you? Come on then, tell me what you want on Matty Cash.
Well, I'm going to start with the losses, because I want to start with the losses, start with the pain, and then work my way up to the winnings to sort of offset some of the pain. So. Losses. So I say this all the time. I don't know why I bother dabbling in Accas, because it's not my area of expertise. I hardly ever win on them, but I thought I'd go for it. And then Spanish League 2, I went for a bit of a league off the beaten track. League 2, Santander were playing bottom of the league, and they were called something like Cultural Leonosa. That was literally their name, Cultural Leonosa. They were bottom of the league. Santander were top of the league. And then my flash scores...
Was it away from home?
Santander were at home.
Oh, because top versus bottom away from home is like one of my lookaways.
Yeah. It wasn't even that. It was top of the league at home versus bottom of the league away. The bottom of the league were called Cultural Leonosa. Never heard of them in my life. And then my flash scores, one notification. Santander 1-0 down. Another notification, like 2 minutes later, Santander 2-0 down. Another notification, they were 3-0 down inside like half an hour. I think it ended up like 4-2. So that was ridiculous. So that's the last time I dabble in a league that isn't a main league that I know about. So that was my Acca done. Then, in terms of like cards and fouls, I had an absolute stinker of one where I pumped a lot of money in, mate. It's absolutely no avail. Mbolo, you know that Mbolo guy? He used to play for Monaco, I think. He signed for
The
Rennes.
Swiss one.
Yeah, he plays for Rennes now.
Yeah.
And have a guess how many fouls he did without getting carded. And he only played about 63 minutes.
I'm guessing by that you mean about 5 fouls.
So he did 4 fouls and then I went in on him.
Okay.
When he got to 6 fouls, I went in on him again. When he went up to 7 fouls, I went in on him one more time. He ended up on 8 fouls and didn't get a card. So literally, anyone listening, go to your Flash Scores app, go to Rennes. I can't remember who they played. Check and Bolo. I think they played Leon. Is it Leon? I think it was Leon. Check and Bolo. 8 fouls, no card, and he got pulled off after about 63 minutes. It was, my head nearly fell off. Nearly fell off. So I lost I'm not going to disclose figures because it's painful, but you can imagine that I probably went, I went in with a, good, healthy amount thinking somebody who's done 4, 6, 7 fouls is going to get a card. And then, it just brings me back to that point, Matt, about persistent fouling. Surely when someone does 5 or more fouls, they're going to get a card. So what should
4 fouls should be you get another card, not 8.
Yeah, what I should have done and what we're going to start doing is we're going to start naming and shaming refs. So next time that happens, I'm going to bring the referee's name so everyone's aware of who to avoid for in-play cards. I'm going to do that moving forward. I'm going to find the ref's name and put them on a blacklist. That was ridiculous. 8 fouls is a joke. So that was my sort of my main losses that really wound me up over the weekend. But in more positive news, in terms of winnings, so Matty Cash, Jack Grealish, that was only ever going to end in one way, which was Matty Cash first yellow. So went in quite heavy on the first card. Matty Cash was 12-1 for a card. So that was solid.
First card.
Yeah, for first cards, that was a very, very solid win. Early doors as well. Went in the first half. So that was just an absolute delight. So that was nice. Say again?
How much you put on it?
So I put 80 on it. So that was like a solid.
So what was that return? 1060.
Yeah. So it was healthy, man. It was healthy. And then so that was Matty Cash. Then Sunday, it was the Manchester Derby Sunday. Did a first half fouls on that. So I had Lenny Yoro, Mazraoui, and Kuzanov. All 3 of them to the first half fouls, about 9-1. So I put 40 on that, and that landed, which was nice because I just thought Jeremy Doku's just going to be drawing fouls. So I had say that again.
I think that's the best I've ever seen him play.
Yeah, he looks all right, mate. He made Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw doesn't need a good player to make him look terrible, but Luke Shaw should never play again. That's embarrassing. It's one thing for someone to skin you up like that, but just stick your arm out and just bring him down outside the box and just take a yellow card. Don't let him do that to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kuzanov, I thought he would foul Dorgu, and then Doku, both players on Doku's side. So it landed after about 20 minutes, so that was comfortable. So yeah, mate. Yeah, all in all, mate, I think I ended up overall with about plus 800, so about 800 profit for the weekend.
Okay, then that's decent.
Which is being I won so much on Matty Cash, it's not the greatest, but yeah, I lost a good chunk on Mbolo because 8 fouls is just scandalous.
Yeah, that's phenomenal.
Yeah, mate. So yeah, but like I always say, mate, as long as I end up the week up, I'm happy. So I think plus 800 is a decent weekend's graft.
And
so what are you saying this week then, Josh? Obviously, we've got Champions League football is back. We've got Prem at the weekend. I personally am buzzing the Champions League's back. Newcastle are back in it as well. Absolutely buzzing. I just can't wait to see us under the lights against Barcelona, mate. Can't wait to see Jacob Murphy's face when the Champions League music plays against Barcelona at St James's. Going to be emotional. But what are you saying this week? What are you having?
Yeah, so I've got a couple of things on this week. So I'm going to have a look. I've had a look at in the midweek, and I've had a look for the weekend. So starting off the week in the Champions League, obviously, I'm going PSV at home to Union. So PSV average 3 goals per game in the league, and they play really well. Union have drew 2 out of the last 3 games away in Europe, so I don't know if they're going to be. Don't know if PSV at home will be too much with the travel. Benfica to win as well. They're smashing the league, 2+ goals every game at home. So carry a bag often struggle away. So I think
that's just going to jump in. It's funny that you called them carrier bag. Firstly, I don't know how to pronounce the name, but that made me laugh. Secondly, I can't believe you've gone Benfica again without Amendi. I just can't wait. I can't wait for him to just drop another clanker and and have the same conversation with you next week. But carry on.
We'll see. And then Fenerbahce, they're playing at home. So yeah, they've had a good start. 10 points from 4 games. Only conceded 2 goals. Alanyaspor, who they're playing at the last 5 games, they've won 4 of them, including 3-0, 3-1. And so I think they're going to struggle. So that's my pick for the midweek, the 3 teams. And then for the weekend, I'm going to go Bayern to win. Obviously, they're going to smash pretty much every game this year, sorry. And they've 14 goals, 2 conceded, 3 matches. Hoffenheim at home. And the head-to-head is just completely one-sided. Bayern have won 5 of the last games, scoring 19 in 5 games, and only conceding 1 against Hoffenheim. So, yeah, it's going to be a fun route for Bayern. And then Madrid are playing at home to Espanyol. So, yeah, the top of the league at now, Madrid. I know they've only scored 6 but in 3 games, but still 2 a game. And the Espanyol have only scored 2 so far. So, yeah, I think 4 straight head-to-head matches for Madrid, all winning by 2 each, solid at the Bernabeu. So yeah, and then the next team I'm going to go for is Flamengo down in Brazil. So Flamengo are top of the league, 37 goal difference, 47 goals, only 10 conceded with 50 points. They're playing Vasco, who are 15th in the table, -1 goal difference, and Flamengo have won 3 out of the last 4 in the head-to-head, keeping 2 clean sheets as well. So yeah, Vasco haven't even scored in 2 out of the last 3 games, away games as well. And if you want to chuck another one on there, you can always chuck Fenerbahce on there again if you want to risk going them twice in the week. But yeah, they're also good odds as well.
Do you know what? I knew you couldn't help yourself to not stay in the European leagues. I knew you were going to chuck one in that was a little bit further afield. I'm just surprised it was actually the Brazilian league and not Serbian League 5 women's amateur football or something.
Mate, that's what I love. That's what I do. That's what I'm here for. Find the most outrageous results and games possible and try and make some money on them.
Yeah, well, I did that this weekend with Santander against Cultural Leonosa, and look, it blew up in my face. But that's why I stay away from Acca. Anyway.
So what do you fancy this week? And well, obviously Champions League's back, and then the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, you know how I operate. I like to focus on a small selection of games that I think are really going to have a lot of fouls, a lot of cards, and things like that. So in terms of the Champions League. The first game is Chelsea-Bayern, which I think is on Wednesday. It's weird because Champions League is on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week. It's not just Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah. So the games are a bit more spread out. So I'm sure Chelsea-Bayern is Wednesday. Reason why I think that'll be a good game is because, like you said, Bayern are used to just smashing everyone. And I think Chelsea are going to put up some resistance, which I don't think Bayern are used to. And I think both teams will be wanting to finish in the top automatic places. So I think they'll both be wanting to make a bit of a statement win. So, and when I look at the matchups, Konrad Laimer for Bayern, if he's against a winger that has any sort of skill, he's going to foul them multiple times. So if they stick that Jamie Bino Gittins out there, which I think they'll probably play him. He started the weekend. He's going to get fouled loads. Or even Garnacho, who I don't rate at all, but he doesn't take a lot for him to go over. So I'll be keeping an eye on Konrad Laimer. The matchup I really like though. Is Cucurella against Michael Elise, because Michael Elise is class and he's dead skillful, dead techie, and Cucurella just loves a challenge. So I can definitely see Cucurella racking up fouls and definitely getting carded. And then you've got the likes of Caicedo, he just runs around kicking people for 90 minutes. And then you've also got, I think Cole Palmer will likely start because he come on against Brentford, pretty much turned the game. So I think he'll probably play. So whoever's playing holding midfield for Bayern, which could be Pavlovic or maybe Goretzka, I think they're going to have their hands full with Parma. So that's the game I'm definitely focused on. Newcastle versus Barca under the lights. St James's. I always love Newcastle for fouls because we've just got we've got such an aggressive midfield three, and then you're throwing Anthony Gordon, who'll be playing because he's not suspended in the Champions League, so he'll be back and raring to go. So in that game, I'd keep my eye on Kunde, who's against Gordon. Kunde is basically a centre half playing right back, so Gordon will just go over straight away. Bruno G gets fouled more than any player in the Prem, so he's going to get fouled multiple times. So if he starts, I'd be looking at Casado for Barca or Fermin Lopez. If either of them two start, they'll definitely rack up fouls. And then I think it depends on who plays on the right for Barca, because I think Lamau didn't play against Valencia. I think he was injured.
No, he didn't.
So if Lamine Yamal's back, they might have just rested him for the Newcastle games. If Lamine Yamal's back, then whoever's playing sort of left back for Newcastle, if it's Lewis Hall, if we throw Dan Burn out there, they'll definitely do a foul.
I had to put Dan Burn out there.
If it's Livramento, then I'd be more inclined to have Lamau foul Livramento than the other way around. Livramento never fouls anyone, but he gets fouled a lot. So it all depends on lineups, and I'll be posting on socials like my fouls for those games to keep an eye out on them. So those are the sort of the games that I'm going to keep an eye on in the Champions League. Those are the two. When it comes to the league, you've got Merseyside Derby. So again, that's always feisty. That's going to be competitive. Everton have got off to a really good start this season. Liverpool will be wanting to continue their good run. So we're thinking of battles on the pitch. You've got like Alexis McAllister, Idrissa Gana Gueye, that Irabunum for Everton. He just can't help himself but to foul. So I think those two for Everton will be fouling. Depends on who plays right back for Liverpool. If Conor Bradley plays, put the house on Conor Bradley to do a first half foul to get booked, because Jack Grealish has got the last two fullbacks he's played against booked now. Conor Bradley loves the yellow, and Conor Bradley just throws himself into challenges. So Conor Bradley, keep an eye out for him in that game as well. So Merseyside Derby is a good one. Wolves Leeds on Saturday as well. I think that's going to be really competitive because Wolves are 4 games, 4 losses. They're at home to Leeds. If there's ever a game Wolves have to win, it's that one. If Wolves lose to Leeds at home, then it's looking like they're done. So I think that'll be really competitive, especially in the centre of the park. You've got the likes of Anton Stack for Leeds. You've got the likes of Ethan Ampadu for Leeds. I don't think Ampadu's been booked this season, so he's due a card. And then obviously Wolves have really combative Brazilian centre mids in Andrade and João Gomes. So I think that game will be like, there'll be lots of fouls in that game. Lots of cards. Keep an eye on that one. And then my final game for the Prem is Newcastle Bournemouth on the Sunday. Reason being, Bournemouth have a dead small pitch. Bournemouth are a very good team. And they tend to get the better of us. They tend to get the better of Newcastle when we play them. Beat us, I think, 4-0 at home last season. So that's going to be a competitive game. When we're up against it, our midfielders just resort to fouling. So that game, you've got to be looking at Joel Linton's going to be fouling the likes of Alex Scott multiple times. Bruno's going to be fouling. Bruno's going to be getting fouled by the likes of Tyler Adams. You've got Anthony Gordon against either Adam Smith or Hill at right back for Bournemouth. So I feel there'll be a lot of money to be won in that game as well. So those would be like my games to sort of keep an eye out, and they're the games I'm going to be going in on. So first half fouls for each of those games, and then I'll be looking at in-play cards. But like I said, I'll be posting my all the ones that I'm going to be going for across the week. So keep an eye out. Okay, so this brings us to the final segment of today's episode, and each week we're going to be talking a little bit around, we're going to have like a topic of the week in relation to sort of betting on the footy. So this week's topic is around sort of betting strategies. So what strategies can you use to, maximise your chances of winning? So Josh, what's sort of your, labelled yourself as the Acca King at the start of the episode. So what are your sort of strategies around Accas?
Yeah, like you said, Accas can be really difficult, and you can put a lot of time and energy into watching Acca and it just go down at the last minute. But what I do try to do is like really delve into the data. So I'll look at a team. Obviously, we all know the kind of the bigger teams, but there's also a lot of other teams where you can get great value for. So kind of teams with like a really strong home record. How reliable are they at home? like how many goals are they averaging? Like in the past, like 5 games, in the past 10 games, are they averaging like 2 goals a game, or like they're just absolutely thumping anyone? So yeah, try and look for as many teams as good at home. But then again, it's a lot of teams. You can also struggle away. So again, trying to match up and find those matchups, like you said, like really, Santander probably should have absolutely smashed Leon or whatever you could say.
Cultural Leonosa. I'll never forget that
Yeah,
name. I don't need
but
reminding.
but again, if the team's struggling away from home, like that's always kind of a biggie. If they travel poorly, rarely score. If the other team's like doing much better than them in the league, that's usually a good sign. And it also that can work the other way around. If you've got a big team going away to kind of a smaller team, and they're having the same struggles, not scoring too many at home. Again, looking at games where there's a lot of kind of goals scored, goals conceded, high scoring, again, better goal difference. So trying to alleviate all the risk as possible. Obviously, for all the teams that you know, is anyone injured? Any key players? Captain being out, top goal scorer. Like you know what to look out for. Those kind of players, like the influential players, goalkeeper. Making sure they haven't got Onana in goal. Head to head, because there's always a history of between two teams most of the time. Like Villa can't seem to beat Crystal Palace no matter where they play them. Wolves went through a stage of beating City. Tottenham are in a stage of beating City at the moment. So looking at what's consistent versus upsets if they routinely pump them like 2 or 3-0 every game, and then just try and just balance your Acca out, not have too many picks. I think I'll try to have, for like more confident Accas, I try to have max 5 picks. But I do like to have like a bit of more riskier one, like a 10-fold, and then I do like to do a really out there 20-fold, because one day I'm going to pick 20 teams across the week that are all coming in. So that's kind of all the things that I look out for. What about you?
What about like the apps you use? Do you have like certain apps that you go to, or do you look for different values, or what's your sort of strategy
No,
around that?
I always stick to Bet365 pretty much, because you get the 2-0 payout, which is an absolute blessing. A team gets 2 goals up, you get the green tick no matter what happens, and you get the bonus as well, as long as your team wins. So I think they're the kind of best ones I find for Accas. I guess you probably use Paddy Power because you get the sub insurance and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, sort of when it comes to sort of on my side of things, when it comes to sort of cards, the sort of 5 things that I like to sort of focus on really. The first is similar to how you start with yours. It's research. It's looking at what games do I think ahead of the weekend or ahead of the week do I think are going to be lively. I also look into like who's reffing the game. Is it a ref that gives away likes to dish a lot of cards? Because you can have the dirtiest game in the world, and if you've got a ref like Simon Hooper, he might decide to just not delve into his cards, not delve into his pocket until like the 70th minute.
Who was it yesterday in Derby that you?
Anthony Taylor, he's another one. Like he probably has 4 or 5 games here where he doesn't. He decides I am not bringing any cards out. There was a minute when Bernardo Silva just pulled down Dorgu for no reason. He just did nothing but give a foul. So refs are really important. So when you're thinking of the in-play card market, so check the refs. Like you say, check on the history between the two teams. Is it a rivalry? Do individual player matchups? What do they look like? Have you got a tricky winger against an aggressive fullback, for example? Have you got a striker who goes down easily against aggressive centre halves? Have you got players who have historically got books against each other, or historically foul each other a lot? I.e., when Chelsea play Arsenal, you know that Saka and Cucurella are going to be fouling, and Cucurella's most likely to get booked. Week just gone, I knew Matty Cash was going to get a yellow. He got booked against Jack when he played for City for persistent fouling. So I knew he was going to go in. I was so confident on that. So again, sort of the history, player matchups really matter, ref matters, and the weight of the game. So what does this game mean for both teams? This is why the Wolves-Leeds game is so appealing to me, because Wolves have to win. And Leeds will be thinking, Wolves at the bottom of the league, struggling, we have to get something. So that means both teams will be bang up for that. Sometimes you might get a game at the Etihad where City are playing, so I'm going to say Brentford, for example, where there's not much on the game for Brentford potentially. They might go a couple of goals down and just accept it. Whereas Wolves-Leeds, Wolves go 2-0 up or 2-0 down, neither team are going to accept it. It's going to be fireworks. So research is big. Always do your research. My second point is to never bet on multiple cards before the game starts. This is something I
Yeah.
used to do, and I lost loads doing this. So sometimes I go, oh, there's these three players playing. I think all three are going to get booked, so I'm going to put on all three to get booked. You know, you get great odds. You might get like 40, 50, 60 to 1. But the likelihood of those three players getting booked is not high. You might get a game where the ref just decides not to book. You might get a game where one of them gets subbed off or injured early. You might get a game where one of them just doesn't look arsed. So
Yeah.
never bet on multiple cards before the game starts, ever. If there's a player you're like, or one or two players where you're like, I know they're going to get booked, what I would do is put them on, use the first player card market, like I did with cash. Because the benefits of doing that are, if the player gets booked first, you win big. If the player doesn't get booked first, then the player's odds would have got a lot better because it will be into the game. You would have had a chance to have watched the game and to have a feel for who's fouling, who's racking
Yeah.
up fouls, who's looking arsed, who's wound up at the ref, who's diving. You've got an idea of, you've got a feel for the match and if it's worth going in. So that would definitely be my second point. My third point is to use, when you are going in play for a card, always use an app with an in play with sub insurance in an in play market. So I know that Paddy Power do it sometimes, like they do it for Prem games, occasionally for televised championship games. 365 do it, and William Hill do it. It's called Impact Sub for William Hill. You have to. Some games have an icon with Impact Sub. Those are the three apps that I tend to use. The reason why that's so important is because you can have a player who's done 3 or 4 fouls, thinking, right, he's going to go in, play on him, and then the manager pulls him off because the manager can see him getting wound up. And then
Yeah.
you just lost. Whereas at least if you've got the sub insurance, it rolls to the next player, so you could still get a win. The other reason why I like to use all 3 apps is to compare prices, because like the apps can sometimes be like a discrepancy between apps. Sometimes they're quite similar. Other times you might have a player in play who on Paddy Power is like 7 to 1, and then you go to 365 and the same player's like about 14 to 1. Massive differences. So always have a little shop around on the odds. My fourth point, and this is a big one, is don't go in play until the ref has dished. Don't do it. Because it could be a ref, like we said, like Anthony Taylor, who might just decide, I'm not booking anyone today. The minute the ref books a player, that means he's more likely to book someone else because he's already gone into his pocket. Often the ref will be looking to equalise it up. So if he's booked a player for home team, then the next player from the away team to do something is likely to go in. Definitely if it's a home team, because they always want to even it up for the home and up versus away. So if a team picks up a card or 2 cards, it's highly likely he's going to book someone from the other team the minute they do something. So all you need to do is just check the foul stats. What players have been fouling? What player have been racking up the tackles? What player have been racking up the fouls? So if he's booked, say, 2 home players, and you look at the away team stats, and someone's done, like, say, 2 fouls and 3 tackles, then that's a prime player to go in play on. Because the next foul, the ref is going to book him. Like, it'd have to be the softest foul for him not to. So don't go in play until the ref's dished is massive, because that will save you so much money. So definitely follow that one. And then my final bit of advice, point 5, would be to commit. So when you've got that feeling that someone's going to go in because maybe they've done a few fouls and because the ref booked someone from the other team, commit to your decision. I've got a friend who will be nameless who thinks about committing, and the amount of messages I get off him, which is, I knew he was going to get booked. I was just about to place money on him. Like, I knew that player was going to go in. I was literally hovering over him for a while, and you don't want to be that person. Like, so when you're sure, just commit. Because I've been guilty of this before, where I've been umming and ahhing, not done it. 30 seconds later, a minute later, 2 minutes later, the player's gone in. Or in my head, I'm like, oh, do you know what? I'll wait a little bit. I'll wait for the odds to get better, and the player's gone in. Missed opportunity. So I would always say, when you're sort of really confident, to commit. But I'm going to caveat that with, like, obviously it's really important to be gambling responsible, and we haven't got like an endless supply of money to be losing. So sort of tying into that point is just having that mindset of being okay to lose. Like, with this strategy, you are going to get things wrong. Like my Mbolo one, for example, 8,000 didn't get booked. It ticked every bit of the criteria that I use. Didn't happen. So you've got to have the mindset of that you are going to lose some. So it's really important that you almost view or have the understanding that you're going to lose some before you win. When you win, you'll win pretty big, but you are going to lose some along the way. And what I tend to do is just set aside an allocated amount of money, like each week, that I can afford to almost lose, in a sense, that that doesn't impact me too much if I lose it. So it's almost like I look at it as, like, me and you used to go out a lot, Josh, back in the day. So like that money that I'd use for that, for example, I just put that to betting now. So if I lose it, it's not the end of the world. It doesn't affect me too much. So then, and why that's important is because then I don't get into the habit of like wanting to chase losses, thinking, I'm down like 50, 60 quid. I need to win something back, and then just start throwing money reckless. So I think it's good to just make sure you've got money to the side that you can use that isn't going to just like impact the rest of your week, because that's the last sort of situation you want to get into. So yeah, so I'd say those are my 5 main points, and they've steered me well. And that's what I'd recommend to everyone out there if you're going to have a dabble in the in-play market.
So thanks for watching. Catch you next week after the weekend. So have a good week and have a better weekend, and we'll see you next week with hopefully some more wins to tell you about.
Take care, people. Until next time.
And don't forget to tune in next week for Never Back the Early Kickoff. Thanks for watching. Follow us across socials for more. And remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. Please gamble responsibly. 18+.